All right, 7:10. Better late than never, right? Welcome to the Berlin Conservation Commission meeting of April 3rd, 2024. Just a reminder, this is an open session, and open session public meetings are subject to being recorded, as you can tell. Your image and voice will be recorded and uploaded to YouTube, just so you know. All right, we have a hearing in 5 minutes. Let's see if we can get through some housekeeping stuff. Minutes from the last meeting. Everybody see the minutes? Good with the minutes? Now we get a motion to accept the minutes. That's true, you were not here.
I move to accept the meeting minutes from our last meeting.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, I will ask you to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, we have minutes. Do we have a treasurer's report?
I do not have a choice.
Okay.
So it hasn't really changed since last time. But sadly, I forgot to copy those numbers onto my little cheat sheet here. So.
No worries. All right, bills and forms.
So thankfully no bills,
Yay.
but reimbursements for AJ.
Right?
For
MACC.
Yep.
For 4 miles. Okay, so $150 for the webinar, for the conference, and $9.52 for mileage.
Get your receipts.
Anybody have any questions? Anybody want to make a motion to reimburse AJ $159.52?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, I will ask you to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no. All right.
And I believe we can do that out of the Wetlands Protection Act fund instead of just like the annual budget.
I believe that is
Mhm.
true.
So
Awesome.
Although if we have the budget, we could
That's
draw
true.
that down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless there's
I will
something
let
else.
the treasurer decide
Okay.
which account to take it out of.
Fair enough.
Mail and notices.
Well, it's been fairly quiet. There was something that came in today that I meant to grab a little brochure for it. So, did you see
Oh,
that
yeah,
email?
I did see this email. So, apparently the USDA is trying to make more farmland available for funding from the Farm Bureau, or I don't know if it's actually the Farm Bureau, I'm making that up, from the USDA, I guess. So land that is farmed but doesn't necessarily have prime soils can be in this new category of farmland of local importance. So they are meeting with the Agricultural Commission, and they just got in touch with us to see if we had anything we wanted to say.
Well, yeah, a lot of our land, the whole, like, for example, the whole farm we're looking at on top of a certain hill is not the highest quality of soils. It's about half and half. I don't know what the one around the cemetery in South Berlin is, but it's something we should
Yep.
be interested in.
Yep.
So,
I mean, my personal opinion is that we're in support of this.
Yeah.
All right.
on mail and notices, I've forwarded a couple times to everybody something I received from UMass, the Forest Institute. Have you received those?
Yeah,
They're
they
free.
definitely
They're-
get the wildlife, fish and
All
wildlife
right,
ones.
Fish and Wildlife one, all right, that's good. Does everybody get it?
I don't
I mean,
recognize.
it's free. You could sign up for the Fish and Wildlife newsletter, and it has some interesting stuff in it. The whole thing about fishes this time, for example, you know, about wildlife and laws and stuff. Number one, just Google up Mass Wildlife, and you'll get to it. The second one is the forest newsletter from UMass School of Forestry, and there was one that I forwarded. I don't know if I just forwarded it to one or everybody, but the idea that identify places with old-time forest characteristics. And I think in the project we're working on right now, we could identify that. And it wouldn't add anything to the workload or anything else, but just simply look at it, look at the characteristics, identify it, and get it recorded, and just let it go through the ages and see what happens. That's another one. And then the most recent one is really, did you get anything from me just recently in the past week?
I don't think
I don't remember anything.
Jesus, well, it's like 20 pages long. It's all about forestry and timber harvesting and managing forests, and it's pretty good. And you can get a hard copy free if you send for it.
Cool,
All right,
Awesome.
I'll get that to you.
great.
Make sure you get it. But there's a couple of periodicals that are newsletters that are very relevant to our mission and what we're doing, and very valuable.
Excellent.
Holly did raise her hand.
Okay. So you should be able to she should be able to unmute. Holly?
No, so she's muted again.
Yeah. All right, well. Oh, and now she's gone.
Oh.
Oh, no, she's under the panelists.
And then Chris McKenzie is
Yeah.
presenting for
Okay.
the next one.
All right, so it is 7:17. Come on up. And Chris is going to present.
Well, I'm prepared to as well.
Okay,
Okay.
why don't we have you, and he can jump in if needed. Yeah, allow him to talk for now, and then if we need to promote him to a panelist, we can.
My
Hi.
name is Jonathan Mecklin, and I'm the
Oh,
applicant.
you're going to have to speak directly
closer?
into the microphone, yes.
Yeah, good evening. My name is John Mecklin. I'm applicant for a project that we're getting ready to undertake at 39 Sawyer Hill Road. It's a property that was recently purchased by my client, and we're undertaking to kind of change the face of it by taking down some of the older, unused agricultural buildings, and eventually the client's going to build a new residence and some new barns there.
Excellent. Let's see if we can squish
Sure.
that in here.
So I color-coded the drawing. It just kind of seems to go a little easier. The resource is over here against it, up at the top, the flagged edge of wetlands, and we've done a site visit with some of the members. We met out there
Yep.
about a month ago. And we pretty much concurred, I believe, on the definition of and the demarcation of different areas. Of the most impactful activity we're going to undertake is we want to remove a former greenhouse and storage area, which is this building right here. And that is, up to within maybe 40 or 50 feet from the resource at one point. So the engineer has marked out the protection measures.
Where's Sawyer Hill Road?
Right here.
It's a wheeler, yeah, Sawyer Hill's over there. This is a meadow with a
Yep,
corner.
I know where it is now, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So we're gonna be taking some of the other buildings down and building new, but those are outside the 100-foot buffer zone. So I think our main interest tonight is, anything that's along the top of the drawing. So the larger project is removal of this. We've applied for the permit, but clearly the order conditions is part of that application process. So we have to get through this before we start any of that work. And there's a very small building over here that's also within the 100-foot.
What about the main house?
The client has applied to take that down as well.
Take that down too?
Yeah, right now it's under a demolition delay, 6 months.
It's happening all over town.
Yeah, that's, Sad to see them go down.
Not that it's any of our business, but
Mm.
it's pathetic.
Yeah, so Maddie and AJ and I met out here on a much nicer day than today.
Much nicer than today. It was sunny, as I recall.
Yes, it was. It was lovely.
Yeah.
And it's really, this larger rectangle over here is really just a foundation
Yeah.
at this point.
There's
Yep.
really not a building there anymore.
No,
Right.
it was a greenhouse.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm.
And then there's this little shed over here. And so, I mean, I think,
There's a little bit of grading.
yep,
Mm.
To be honest, if I don't think it would be a bad idea to kick, well, no, I'm reading upside down. The protection should be down gradient of it. Yeah,
right,
so that's,
yes.
I
Yep.
think that's appropriate as strong.
And so the plans show just wattles. We would probably, well, definitely, because the property does slope down to the stream over there. Silt fence and
We'll
wattles.
do fabric, okay.
Yep.
Is Chris in with us, the engineer? Because that would be a note directly for him.
Yep, and he has updated the plans to have silt fence with wattles.
Boy, is he fast.
Yep, he was good.
Wow.
let's-
I apologize for not having that addition with me. I didn't
Yep,
realize that.
that's okay. Right.
This is not a specific copy of part of the submittal. This was just my.
Right, so we
Working-
do have
working
the
copy.
digital copy,
Okay.
and we will want, when we vote to approve it, we are going to want a paper copy of the version we vote on.
Everything, yep, absolutely.
Also, they might not have sound for the people on Zoom.
Hmm.
There are questions. Saying there.
The sound is gone, is it? Oh, that's interesting. Is the sound still gone? Well, I imagine they would have, they can't hear me if it is.
It does look like
Do we
we're
have to
muted.
unmute on
Yeah, I
our
was
end?
gonna say, it looks like we're muted.
But that's the computer that's muted,
Oh, yeah.
not this.
Yeah, that's true.
You click on the microphone on
Well,
there.
skip
It's
out of
gonna,
it.
I
There you
think
go.
we're gonna get some terrible feedback if we unmute the computer.
Really?
Yes, because that's part of
Okay.
how it all works. Brittany or Roger, if one of you could see what's going on with the sound, that would be great.
So I can make sure, well, I was gonna bring this to Chris's attention, but clearly he's already
Yeah.
picked up on that. And you had made specifically a mention that we wanna make sure we get biodegradable netting on the wattle, so that's in print on the.
Yep.
I haven't sourced it yet, but I'm sure it's out there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you guys must know about it. If it's out there, if you request it, it's out there.
Yeah.
Actually, I picked up a couple of new sources at the MACC.
Oh, great,
Yeah, so
yeah.
I should.
So if you want to
Good.
send that information to the CC, we can forward it.
Sure.
on
Well,
to
and you know,
them.
the suppliers are gonna, if it's becoming more common, as an end user, I would love it, because at the end of the job, all that's left is a bunch of this fish netting.
Right.
And everything's growing through it.
Yeah.
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 Mm.
Try
Yeah,
to,
and
try
so
to pick it
You
up.
try to pull it up and
Oh.
it breaks.
Oh, it's
and-
awful.
Yeah,
It's just awful. And you
Right.
get this plastic, so.
yeah, which is why we're just trying to skip that.
Holly is muted.
So somebody else in the audience said they couldn't hear us, and then I asked if they could hear us, and nobody said anything, so I'm assuming they can't hear us.
Well, I have the volume and I can hear it, so.
Right. So, but we don't want to unmute Zoom on the computer.
But Holly can unmute if she wants to talk.
Right.
Okay.
That part I knew.
Do we
Um,
want to put it in the chat to see if Holly wants to speak, and maybe see if we can hear her?
Yeah, saying no sound. So, I'm just gonna text her. Right, and you guys don't have your DEP number yet anyway.
Right, Maddie,
Right.
Maddie clued us in.
Yep.
I was gonna say, you don't have my DEP.
Well, none of us have your
We don't
DEP
have
number.
one yet. Does that take a while right now for them?
And I-
Does it really?
It takes
Wow.
maybe a month
I
now.
think they could just look up Berlin, right, and just go
Right?
2, 3, 4, 4.
Unfortunately, Berlin is here and the stack is here, you know?
There's not enough people to go through
Yeah,
the stack.
yeah, and part of it is the time of year. Everyone's applying
Sure,
for spring
sure.
work.
In past experience, do we think that by the next meeting?
It
I
should.
think, yeah,
Okay.
Yep.
It's a
Okay.
pretty straightforward project, so.
yeah.
It
So,
shouldn't take long
so
for
I-
it
it
to
sounds like
review.
my mandate at that time is to make sure we have paper copies of that for
Yep.
a quick review.
With the updated,
That meeting, yeah.
yeah,
This is
And
the
that's
septic
just-
stuff. That's
yeah.
septic tanks and stuff.
Yep.
Yep.
Um,
Is there anything else that the board sees important that we get on the plan?
It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Proceeding, looking beyond the issuing of the order, I guess I would be in contact with Maddie to get a work schedule to the commission.
Correct. Yep, yep,
And then
then,
install the barrier, call for an inspection.
Yep.
That would all,
and then
okay,
have at it.
nothing different. Good.
Excellent. Let me just see, does anybody who's here in the audience have any questions about this? No, and unfortunately, yeah. I don't know what happened. Technology's fabulous until it isn't.
Have you met with the historical commission already about the?
Yeah, we're several months into that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, they're still working. They're gonna be removing a bunch of key elements, architectural elements from the building, I believe. I haven't been part of it, so the owner has dealt directly with the historical
Mhm.
commission. And I think they've even been sniffing around to see if perhaps someone would wanna relocate it. But I haven't heard anything directly from them yet.
Mhm.
Right.
But there's still a couple of months.
Awesome. And, yeah, I mean, I
Okay,
think,
I have nothing else if you guys don't.
I think we're good.
And we're not gonna close the hearing, we're not gonna vote because we have to continue it
Right,
next week,
so
so. we'll see.
we have to vote to continue it.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Motion?
Make a motion to continue the hearing to the next meeting.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll ask you to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right,
Thank you very much.
you're very
Thank
welcome.
you.
Thanks for coming in.
Yep.
All right, and, oh, look at that, right on time. 7:30 meeting, Brian Belfer. Or RDA, I should say. How you doing?
Good evening.
Was that his? John? John?
No, that's not mine.
No, that's
No.
mine.
Oh, sorry. All right.
That sounds
why don't you
no
put
vote
that
already.
why don't you put that here in the middle?
A couple to get you in the ballpark. So this is for I'm Vincent Vignelli. I'm the conservation agent in Northborough.
Great. Good to meet you.
Yep, I'm Brian Belfer. I'm the current chairperson for the Northborough Trails Committee.
Excellent.
So what we're here is, there's a request for a determination. We got a few pictures of the site area. You can pass it around and take a look through them.
Totally familiar with
The location is right at the town line. The work is actually occurring to do repairs on the Bennett Trail
Oh,
and the bridges that go across that wet area.
Can you
if you've
just
been
pull
up
that
there.
a little closer to you? Thank you.
So we're repairing existing bridges on the Bennett Trail and extending one additional section because it's still wetland and the existing bridge doesn't quite make it. You can see it as the last picture in that
Oh, yeah.
grouping.
Yeah.
So as you can see in some of the other pictures, the existing trail gets widened. It was very handy that we were out there when it was snowy because you can see all the tracks.
Right.
Through the
So-
snow, it's like 10 or 12 feet
that one?
wide. Yes, well,
Yeah.
every one of them, you can see the tracks, but, so people are just spreading out and impacting the wetland a lot more than they really need to. So what this project is intended to do is to improve the access, to make it easier and more accessible to the public, but also to minimize the impacts to the wetlands. And by doing what is proposed is an additional 50 feet of bridge on the second page of what you have there, and then on the main picture here,
See us all.
we have the dark line is the Berlin-Northborough town line. Berlin to our side, Northborough on yours. And the wetlands are indicated inside those blue lines with a couple of stream channels that go through there.
Is the stone wall the town line?
No, the stone wall is about 100 feet or 85 feet on the other side, right. So the parking area, you go across the town line and then you
Yeah.
end up at the stone wall,
Yeah,
and then that trail goes right along the stone wall.
yeah.
So this is a property that was acquired by the Conservation Commission in Northborough
Right.
for this purpose, to have the access for the trail. And so what we're proposing, there are existing, in this picture, it looks like a little train with from your viewpoint, the left side has a darker blue rectangle. That is the new bridge section, and that's about 50 feet long, is it? 48 feet?
Yeah, the new raised boardwalk will be about 50 feet long.
And so
Good
that's,
size.
yes.
Yeah.
We've got probably, how long are the total?
There's 10 existing 12-foot bridges there that are
Oh, wow.
not entirely linear. I don't know if everyone's walked the site, but they're in disrepair. They're all wrecked.
Right, you can see.
There's big gaps. And so the overall goal is to, where it's crossing over one of the actual streams, is to extend that bridge a little bit to clear those banks, to make sure the water's flowing. Do a little bit of terrain fill work where it's all rooty and muddy, but keeping the path just adjacent to the stone wall. And then really that addition, the further addition of the new 50 feet of boardwalk, is what's right in the wetland area.
And all that is occurring in Northborough. They've gone through the Northborough Conservation Commission and received a negative determination for the work in Northborough. But the work is going to be staged right at the parking area, right just south of the parking area, which is north of the parking area is where the stream goes, and it's all wetland. So the staging area is about a 15-foot by 25-foot area, and material will be hauled down the existing trail, and the work will occur right at the site, right in place.
So the staging area is basically the parking area.
Yes, right next to the park. If you pull into the parking area, it's the area on the left.
Yeah, that's really the only place to stage anything.
Right.
There's no other
Sure.
spot along Howard to leave any material or have any access.
Right.
And so
And
that's,
that's why you're here.
That's why we're here. Well, it's an opportunity to try to put a project together that actually involves both towns and
Sure.
multiple committees.
Mm-hmm.
So sort of the goal is not only just building the bridge, but having a chance to not only get us all in the same room, but maybe get us all together out on the trails out there, because we know Pisgah's a bit of a challenge at times.
Absolutely. Excellent. All
and
right.
you had a list of the groups that were involved.
Yeah, I mean, it's the collaboration is really between Northborough Trails Committee and Northborough Conservation and Berlin Conservation. the folks at SVT, of course, who I believe own or manage the CR for the parcel, and our friends at Blackstone Valley NEMBA, which is New England Mountain Bike Association.
Awesome.
You gonna do anything with a trail from the staging area? You'll probably have to. You're pretty tough to run a wheelbarrow over those roots and everything. It's very difficult. You could lay down some gravel there or
We
something.
could do some gravel there. We could possibly do some temporary plywood decking. There'll definitely be some wear on it from moving everything to the work area, but we can certainly do, regrading or just include that as part of the
No,
overall
I
process.
think it would be good. I mean, it's good. It's a tough place to walk, some good compacting gravel in there, 3 feet wide or so to get it in there.
Yep, that's actually what's
That's-
proposed between the sections of bridge that are out there, to put crushed stone, so that it allows water to pass through, but the areas have been eroded by all the foot traffic. The only thing left are the
Yeah.
roots, and so people have worn everything else away.
Who put the bridge, what's there now? Who put that there? When?
I believe that was an Eagle Scout project, and I don't actually know the date of it, but it's more than 15 years old.
Is it that old?
I think it is.
Okay.
It's
Oh,
Sound has resumed.
yep,
Okay.
yep. Great. The audience can hear us now.
excellent.
Good.
Awesome. Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
A couple of things, and if you know the wetlands law, and I don't that well, but isn't there exemptions for trail through wetlands? You've got an exemption for this, don't you?
We do, but we also wanted to use, as Brian said, we want to use it as an introduction to try to build a project that's going to have everyone working together. And we got the RDA from Northborough, but every town is a little different, so it's not that
No, I
difficult
wouldn't,
to go through
I mean,
this.
my point was that trails are exempt. You could do what you want to do legally without getting, we don't have to issue you a, order of conditions or anything like that. Well, we don't
Right, well,
anyway
it's an
here, because
RDA,
you're
yeah.
using the existing trail, but,
Right.
yeah, that's all straightforward. That's good.
Yeah, no,
Well,
that's,
we
that's good.
appreciate
Mhm.
the filing anyway, just in the interest of transparency and cooperation. Absolutely, so that, when somebody calls us and says, hey, there's all these piles of stuff in the parking lot, we actually know why they're there.
Yes, yes, because it's a substantial project. It's bigger than most of the average bridge builds that occur up at Pisgah.
Sure.
The last really big one that we did on the Northborough side was off the Smith Road parking lot. I'm not sure if anyone goes in from there, but we put up a 60-foot long raised bridge to cross a
Wow.
low area there.
Nice.
So I've been involved in a couple of reasonably sized projects. They're all challenging, but the more people we can get involved,
Yeah.
the better.
Feedback now.
Is that the one, there's one, I think in Berlin, similar to what you want to put here on the Cart Road or the trail that runs from Ball Hill down through the valley across the brook and up on the Pisgah.
Mhm.
You familiar with that?
Yeah, I've been across that
That's
bridge.
Berlin, I think.
That one is. I think SVT might have put that in. I'm not actually sure who.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know, because I don't recall hearing on it. Not that, again, doesn't matter, but it's good to know.
I know that some years ago, we had a Boy Scout in town do his Eagle Scout
Mhm.
project and put a bridge in, so. I know he went in through Maplewood, that's all I know.
I'm not even sure where Maplewood is.
So Maplewood is the horse farm on Ball Hill Road.
With the bright blue roof.
Yeah.
I've never gone in
Doesn't
from that,
matter.
from
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
way.
Doesn't matter.
I've only
Yeah.
entered the woods from either the Smith Road side or the Linden Street lot
Mhm.
or,
Yeah, it's just
Or this
below
one.
Captiva Road.
All right, excellent. So I think it's great that you guys are taking this on. Please let us know when the work days are happening, and we'll see if we can get some people to help out from Berlin as well.
perfect.
The other reason why, when we were talking about if we wanted you guys to come in or not, I just wanted to kind of get an idea of what you were thinking for the piles of stuff in the parking lot.
So I don't think I have a view of it, but as you're looking at that parking lot, there's basically 2 spots straight ahead. There's like 2 additional spots to the left. We would utilize just the straight ahead area for staging of the lumber and, back our work vehicles in right there. So we would need to cone it off or mark it out at some point, prior to having stuff delivered. And then we're also going to get probably about 6 yards of 3/4 crushed bluestone delivered. There's a spot basically in between the 2 parking areas that's just pine, and we could have that dumped right there, and that would all get moved and cleared eventually and put on the trail.
Okay, so,
That's
but that's it, it's just lumber and gravel?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, that'll be good, because that's a tough spot.
It is. That entrance hasn't really seen as much love as some of the other entrances have,
It's true.
have gotten. It's overdue for some attention.
Yep.
I actually was trying to do this project almost a year and a half ago, but I got a little distracted. But now it's time to bring it up front again.
Excellent. And I remember reading that you're going to salvage what you can of the existing bridges.
Yeah, our goal is to reuse at least 8 out of the 10 existing ones and rebuild those, and we'll do some surface work on them so that we have little disposal to do.
Nice.
Anything that is scrap or unusable, we'll extract out of there, and we'll dispose of that over on the Northborough side.
Awesome. Does anybody else have any questions?
No, it's great. So is the
Thank you
parking
for-
lot in Northborough or in Berlin?
Parking lots in Berlin.
In Berlin.
But the bridge work is in Northborough.
Northborough. Mm-hmm.
AJ?
Oh, good.
All right. Excellent. So we would need to issue a negative finding.
Could we just thank them for letting us know?
I was going to say, do we need to do anything?
Well,
Need
there's
to do
no harm
anything?
in voting.
Or-
Yeah, I think we should we should vote.
Well, I think we were requested by Maddie to file the
Yeah.
ODA.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
the formal yay
Yeah.
or nay would be
Yes, exactly.
Gotcha.
good
Yep.
for the records.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Make a motion?
I'll make a motion to, oh God, what's the motion?
Issue a negative.
Issue a
Issue-
negative determination of applicability for Zero Lyman Road.
0 Lyman Road.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll ask you to vote. All those in favor, say aye.
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 All right.
Fantastic.
All right. So here, Vincent, here's your copy. And we will sign this, and then Maddie will get you guys copies if you want to hang out for a few more minutes.
Sure, that sounds good. I don't know if you needed the advertisement.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I think I've been in touch with at least some of you via email, but I'm also reachable on that email that's on that card.
Great.
So as we
Awesome. Yeah, Maddie and I both monitor the conservation email.
Are you planning on using Trex or something that doesn't rot?
We're not planning on using Trex, no. We're planning on using regular PT lumber.
Is there a reason for that? Why not use something that's not gonna degrade?
Trex decking has no structural integrity as a bridge element.
Right, no, I
Yeah.
the structure, I'm just speaking to the top of it, I'm just curious. It seems, whenever I go through these trails and you see that somebody's using like PT lumber, it's gonna be rotting away. I understand the structural part, but the top of it, everybody's walking on.
I think for the benefit of the audience, we have to either have Tom come up and. But his question is, why don't we use artificial lumber, plastic lumber? Trex is a brand for these bridge decks because it is longer lasting. And I have a comment about it.
I figured you.
We'll let you, and then
It's-
I also have a comment about it.
It's plastic. And as soon as you touch a saw to that plastic, you've created a cloud of microplastics that are not recoverable. And in study after study, it's found that, right now they're finding microplastics in human heart tissue. Yeah. So anyway, that's one of the arguments against it. In theory, it sounds like great. We're recycling some old soda bottles, but I think the cost doesn't outweigh the benefit. Thank you, Tom, for bringing that up, though.
And I believe it's also very slippery when it's wet.
It does get slippery when it's wet.
So for a bridge, that's out in the woods, that's not the best.
And it gets very hot when it's warm.
Yeah.
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 Go ahead. You guys are fast.
We are.
It's good that you get them while they're here, though. I used to have trouble chasing them down.
Well, it's one of the reasons why I sit on a couple other boards, and this is the only one that meets in person still, or again, I should say.
Right.
It's just so much easier
Oh, that's
with
great.
all of the paper and the signing and,
Yep.
yeah,
And I'm on my computer enough.
right? Exactly. So Brian, do you have any sense of when the work will happen?
Possibly May. I had actually been trying to get it done this month, but we kind of ran out of time. So I sort of have to look at the calendar. Now that I've gotten the actual okay to move forward,
Sure.
I'll look at scheduling. Our goal was to get it done this spring. As a Trails Committee, we're looking at doing basically 3 major bridge projects this year, 1 spring, 1 summer, 1 fall. Depending on availability of people, we may flip-flop. This was going to be the spring one. It might become the summer one. So I don't actually know, but as soon as I
Okay,
can.
just curious. Yeah,
Sooner rather than later is the goal.
nice.
If it ever stops raining.
Yeah, you're missing some prime trail work weather, aren't you?
I am not missing it at all. I did 3 days of trail work this past
Did you
weekend.
really?
So.
Good.
Crazy. Look at us, and we're even on time. And we'll be with you in just 1 second.
Okay.
All right, guys, thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. And if you want to come up, and then as soon as Walter and Maddie come back, we can start.
Still have to sign in here.
Okay. That's
I
interesting.
built bridges across swamps. I never come in here to get
Absolutely.
These are new?
Yes, they are. Oh, and they lost sound again. All right.
I know, I feel like I'm.
All right, we're having more technical difficulties, so we're just going to take like a 2-minute break. So I'm just going to go talk to the folks in the control room.
Who are you? Did you live up on Highland Street? Yeah. So you're one of
You know,
the
I think doing
daughters.
it this way, if somebody wants to go in and build their own bridge,
So you
we say, hey, look, this is how it's supposed to be done. You just don't go in there and
Okay,
build
good.
a
Then you
bridge.
right. It's been a long time. I can remember you.
And my uncle was running.
Ron. Oh, sure.
Yeah.
My
father
Yes.
was really our
Yeah.
Al, his brother. It's on
Sure.
their side, so.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah?
yeah. Ronnie and I were close friends. Yeah, and I knew your parents well too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
So
where I'm from.
yeah, time flies.
It sure does.
Yes, this is not working as well as they wanted to, huh?
Yeah, I'm surprised it's in and out.
Hmm,
We'll see, I guess.
yeah.
Who's in the main house
We're just
now?
putting a microphone in the middle. You can't hear everything that
Okay.
everyone's saying when you listen to the video.
Yeah.
Ronnie's wife.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I remember when I was a dairy farm and chicken coops.
Chicken farm.
Yeah, there were 2-story chicken farms. I remember those. They had must have had a dozen milkers, if not more, anyway.
Yeah, I think that, as I I mean, it was always my understanding that it was mostly poultry. I know they had cows and stuff.
Yeah, that was, well, I remember every night helping doing the milking out
Yeah,
there,
that was
Ronnie
all
and I
done
was, yeah.
before I
around.
was
Yeah.
a little kid.
Yeah, it would have been.
Yeah,
I was early teens.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess you were quite a bit younger than me. I'm 82. So
Yeah.
it was. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Now, so who owns the house up on Hyman Street now? Are you there?
My family is
You're still there?
Still
Yeah.
owns that. Yeah, I don't
Okay.
live there. My sister Elsie,
Oh, Elsie, sure.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Jeez.
Time flies.
Yeah, I remember we used to, down in the fields there were a lot of woodchucks, and Ronnie, I'd get in a bucket of the Fords and he'd put me up in the air in the bucket and drag me race around at night with the headlights on, chasing rabbits. Boom, with shotguns, shooting rabbits.
Yeah.
Jeez, we-
I remember when I was real little, he used to hay that field
Yeah.
down by the rotary,
Yeah.
and, you know,
It's
sometimes when we
the
were visiting.
computer in there, the
Yeah.
microphone,
Yep,
the
sure.
Bales and
the microphone
Oh, that
in
was-
there isn't working.
We have a quorum in here. Is there anything on there that is of concern? I mean, other than the fact it sucks
No.
for them?
Right. All right, well, we're just gonna continue on.
Sure.
All right, hi. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good, good.
You have all the plans that I sent to you? Oh, yeah.
All right. There are a lot of lines on there.
Yeah. And I'm not sure what the Conservation Commission, do you have any concerns about that? I mean,
Not,
it's-
certainly not about the front part. Our main concern is with the conservation restriction.
Right.
And
which
so.
everything is far from it, I
Right,
believe.
yep,
There's no wetlands there.
They're
no,
way, way
Good
down
area,
back.
well,
right.
yeah.
Isn't there another page to that plan that shows the? Oh, you're screen sharing all of
Yep.
that.
Gotta be careful about that.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, the plan was up there a minute ago.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just
Doesn't
gonna try to
show
bring
the
up
whole
some.
thing.
It's still sharing. Oh, no, because it,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's. Yeah, this is more the part that we would be.
The first time you ever run that?
Oh, one more. There you
There we
go.
go.
So it looks like, if I remember from looking at this, oh, it's a terrible distance for me. I'm just gonna look at it here. So it says proposed open space restriction area. So are you saying that you will add to the CR?
I don't, with the other end of it.
Correct.
The other end from
the far end, yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yep.
I don't have a problem with that.
Okay.
We did our due diligence and it can't be developed in any way, so
Right.
I don't have a problem adding that on.
Awesome. Awesome. And then that just, so my only
Protects you
concern
guys.
for, right, and protects the people
The
who purchase the
conservation,
property.
yeah.
You know, there's a clear understanding of
Mhm.
what's allowed on the whole property
yes.
when they purchase it.
Right.
And that was really the main reason, because
Mhm.
it is already protected under the law through the Wetlands Protection Act and all of that.
Exactly.
But it just it makes whoever buys the property understand what they're getting into. And that was my concern about it. So, excellent. Does anybody else have any comments?
So is the existing house gonna stay there, the one at the foot of the hill, the little one?
Yeah, I mean,
Whatever
I
they
don't
want.
have any
Okay.
plans
So
on.
what do you, this map, I can't make it out, but is it, so
Oh.
you're gonna, looking at a lot between the major house and a small house going?
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
okay.
yes.
That ain't
Right.
a lot.
So, yeah, just dividing
Okay,
it
there
into
it is.
4 lots.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
Yeah.
excellent.
Gonna take a lot of work still, but we're
Yes.
getting there little by little.
And I don't know that legally you need our blessing, but I think, I appreciate you
That's
coming
what-
in and,
Yeah.
yeah,
I thought the same thing, but I want to make everything work
yeah.
nicely, so how does this, the restriction become extended? Do I need to sign anything? Are you going to draw up a paper to add that on, or documentation to make that happen?
Certainly. We're gonna, let me see if I can talk to town council and see if it can be as easy as adding an addendum
Okay.
to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
existing CR.
Mhm.
That would be the easiest and least expensive,
Mhm.
for sure.
And that wouldn't be any expense to me to have that done, correct?
No, we're gonna get.
Yeah,
we'll
we'll
cover conservation
we'll figure it out.
restriction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sign, as long as I don't have to pay for it.
Right. All right, so we will we'll get in touch with town council, find out if it can be that easy.
All right.
Hopefully it can be. And we will be in touch.
All right.
All right.
And what about the planning board is next?
Planning board is next.
Can you get us on
Yes.
the agenda for
Um,
when?
So just send an email to the planning board. The next meeting is next Tuesday night.
Oh, it's probably, might be. a little
I
too
don't
soon.
think it's the
Oh, really?
agenda gets posted. I don't because you don't have to post it in the newspaper. That's usually what then bumps out when
Okay.
you can be. The agenda gets posted on Friday night. So
All
as
right.
long as email Jay tonight, I'll poke him and say, hey, put Ann on the agenda.
Okay. Actually, I'll probably do that tomorrow, but that's a Zoom meeting, correct? Or should I
Correct.
be here
Yep.
in
No,
person?
that one's on Zoom.
All right, and should the engineers be present as well? Or is this just
Probably
going to
not.
be an okay at this point?
Nothing's really changed from the last time you presented the plan. You just have it all drawn on the plan.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's going to be a
As far as
no-brainer?
that, I can't
Well,
speak for
actually,
the
it's
other
an
members,
A&R,
but
So, yeah, okay,
Right.
all right.
yeah. So, yeah, I don't think you need the engineers.
Okay,
I
great.
think the plans are pretty self-explanatory. Not going to happen. They explain themselves.
Okay. All right, then. I will send the email tomorrow, and I'll see you on Zoom next week.
All right.
All right,
Sounds
thank you
good.
all.
Thank you, Ann.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
All right, and I think last but not least, oh, no, yep, Earth Day. Come on up.
What's Tom? Tom, he lives up there by Eagle Woods. Yeah,
Hi, guys.
I know.
We're doing the Alba ending.
So why don't you introduce yourselves?
I'm Elizabeth Ford,
And I'm Mac Lou.
and we're from Link, and we're just kind of here to see, Link is trying to get a whole student involved in it, so we're just trying to see how we can link up with the existing Earth Day and kind of, you know.
Make it all work.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Excellent. All right, so let's start with the flyer.
Okay, so this is what we have so far. We, sure. We might be adding some more sponsors. You know, I contacted Highland Wine and Spirits, and they are considering working with us. You know,
Again, nice.
right. What they do is, it started out that they were going to give us $1 for each nip bottle that we collected, and they suddenly realized that it might be like 1,000 or more. So they said, okay, we'll give you $500. And it's gone to the food pantry, Hands on Nature. It went to do some work at the community, the town garden at the corner of Pleasant and Central. And last year paid for a student to go to Nature's Classroom.
Nice.
So we, they haven't chosen something for this year yet. I have to call them Friday to see what they're going to do.
Excellent.
Right.
Great.
So,
Well, if you,
right.
my daughter's actually going to Nature's Classroom this year as well. I got 2 in a row, so
Yeah.
Oh, man.
if you have any questions about Nature's Classroom, I can tell you who to get in touch with.
Pardon?
I said if you had any questions about Nature's Classroom, I know who to get in touch with.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Great.
All right.
So one of the things that we wanted to, so you guys are doing a whole week-long thing,
Yeah.
right, with the school. And Earth Day is the Saturday, the Conservation Commission sponsored event is the Saturday at the end of that week.
Right, the 27th.
Right. So we just want to kind of make sure that everybody understood.
Right.
So the general store has offered to give out $5 coupons or gift certificates for any kid that participates. But that participates on Saturday and
Right.
brings trash to, brings their bag back to the to Berlin Realty,
Berlin Realty.
Bridge Realty.
And I think that Stan would be willing to accept them at the transfer station
Okay.
also. Right.
Yeah.
So we're going to work on that. It could be.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. We just don't want a
Yeah, I
bunch
mean,
of
we're
kids
gonna
showing
let-
up at the general store and saying, "Hey, where's my stuff?"
Right.
I mean, we're
And-
gonna try to send them home with a little kit, so
Yeah.
like, they'll already have a bag. I
So
think.
there's an event on that Friday. They're having a whale truck come in,
Isn't that Monday?
or Monday,
Of that
sorry.
week, yeah.
And then they're-
Monday,
So they'll
right.
be able to sort that out by the end of the week.
Right. And
Yeah.
then the plan is to have kids clean up
Hmm.
South Commons.
Correct, yes.
After the So do you need bags, or are you supplying your own bags?
I don't know how that's going. They've been kind of collecting paper bags at the school.
Oh, great.
Okay.
We have
Reuse
we have
them.
a meeting tomorrow, so we can
Right. So
Alright.
you're getting
Good
like grocery bags or
just paper,
paper?
Yeah.
brown paper bags.
Well, if you need any of those, I have.
Yeah.
Just go drop them off at the front of the school.
You should be using returnable plastic bags. when
I
you're
do when I
shopping.
have my car, but when I go with somebody else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But I keep the bags.
Yeah. We do have plastic bags, but we're really trying to get away from that. 'Cause
Yep.
to us, it doesn't make sense to use plastic bags, which, when plastic is a problem, or a
Right.
big problem.
But I think the main issue is on Saturday if have got two different areas, how we're gonna get all the roads sorted.
Right. You
'Cause
mean
I
for
think they were-
for your family kind of thing, or?
for the school kids, because I think they were talking about doing it at the gazebo at school, right?
Correct, yeah, that's where they're gonna start.
Yeah.
Do what?
I said we were gonna get the kids started at the gazebo at the school at South Commons. So
On
it's just-
Saturday.
On Saturday.
Okay. Why?
I think
I-
just from a central location, I think it was easier to get them all in one spot together, that's why. That was our
Yeah.
thought.
We
Right.
probably wouldn't have enough parking over it.
I know, right, it just kind of our home base is Bridge Realty. And if we're trying to coordinate those efforts, I'm
Yeah.
just just thinking about the logistics of that.
I think it
Right.
might be better if we just send one person to Bridge Realty and then have, because I'm thinking of all the kids at
Right?
Bridge, I think
Yeah.
it might be too much.
Yeah, because they're gonna get out of the car and they're gonna go everywhere.
Right.
So what was the plan? They would clean South Commons, or you would have them go
Well, that
out
was during school, I think, South
Right.
Commons.
and then they would
And then on
sign up
Saturday.
at different streets?
Mhm.
Okay, so we have what we do is we have people sign the waiver. And last year we added that because we had people taking pictures and stuff, and we're gonna post them on Facebook or something like that, that people would agree to allow their children to be on Facebook,
Mhm.
whatever. So
I-
we could arrange to have somebody at the gazebo sign the kids up. And what we've done in the past is like people would call in and say, well, I'm gonna do South Street. They would call or email me, and we could write it down. Maybe somebody could be at the gazebo, and then call or email.
Try to find some collaborative thing that we could all.
Yeah, somehow or other,
online.
right. Would that work?
Well, we definitely, I mean, so we can do this one of a couple of ways. This can be a school event, or it can be a conservation event. And if it's gonna be a school event, then it's, I think, just you guys handling it, but it's still, it gets difficult if you guys do it kinda on your own.
Right.
Louise, can you share the map that we use to mark off the sections that
Yeah.
have been
Actually, I have a
committed?
large version of this map. I'd be willing to come on the 22nd and sign up people, and people, the
Yeah.
parents could
Mhm.
choose an area or whatever. But we don't want to be responsible for saying, well, you do South Street, you do Pleasant Street.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
It's just, if we get signups, how to get them to you.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Well,
It would almost be easier if you could get people to sign up ahead of time,
Mhm.
and then have one person bring all of that information to Louise on Saturday morning. And then that way, all the kids can meet at the gazebo, but all of that part is already sorted.
okay, and then we would have to figure out how to get the gift cards, gift certificates to them,
They bring their trash back on their own,
right?
Yeah, that's
either
that's-
to Bridge Realty or to the transfer station.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe they get a little stamp.
Right?
Kids love stamps.
Right, or a sticker or something, yeah.
Yeah,
Because I think this is important for the community to know what we're doing,
right.
and it's getting them involved early, so they have this memory.
Sure, and
Kind
I
of,
also
yeah.
think it's important for them to feel like it's not an isolated thing, that they are part of the bigger day.
Right, yeah.
You know, you
Yeah.
drive around town
You
and you
the-
see people everywhere and you feel part of that bigger cleanup event.
Yep.
And I think it's important for them to feel part of their school community, but also their town community.
Yeah,
Great, yeah.
and I mean, you could have kids go out and pick up trash on say the 23rd, 24th, and by the 27th, there'd be trash out there.
Right.
Right. So we have these maps, okay, and then, people would say, okay, I'm gonna do such and such a street, and we would highlight it, write their name on the thing. So I'd be willing to go on the 22nd, we could sign people
Well,
up.
I think we're trying to
Avoid
make that be different,
Okay,
yeah.
all right,
Because I think it'd be better if the parents that are willing to get involved sign up as you would normally, include someone from Link, and then we can track the parent, child, and then we can coordinate that offline,
Correct.
and then bring that in.
yeah,
I think having you guys collect where people want to clean up ahead of time,
okay.
and then just we'll incorporate it on Saturday.
So
So
we
maybe
could
we
give
should
them the
send a
waiver
form
sheet.
home
Send
with their
a
little
form.
Yes.
kits.
Yeah, okay,
Yep.
Yep.
Right, so we're gonna send the waiver,
right,
send a copy of the waiver
Yep.
with you,
Mhm.
if that could be also part of
Yes.
your packet,
yeah,
that would be great.
So it's waiver and street selection, correct?
Correct.
right.
Okay.
Okay, so.
Yeah, and they don't have to, I mean, I guess for the waiver, they do have to sign it and get
Yeah.
it back.
So they sign their name, address if they want to, and what street they want to do. Yeah, and I guess we had to sign their signature.
Let me
We
see.
don't really use the email, so, but you could ask them, you know, if they would allow. Right now, I don't think we have anyone to go out and take pictures, because Marty Miller
Right.
is
Had a
recuperating.
hip replacement, I believe.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, we all take pictures also, and you know. So.
Well, you know what, you could take pictures if you wanted to, right? And let the parents know that it might be on
Yeah.
Facebook, and then we could
Or they could
post it.
send in their pictures.
Okay.
too.
Perfect.
Yeah,
All right. Someone named Kay has their hand up. Kay, if you could unmute and we'll give it a try. Oh,
Okay, I was on Zoom and I missed what you said about 39 Sawyer Hill Road. I saw the pictures, but I never heard what you said.
Okay, we can get back to that after we finish the Earth Day discussion. Do you have a question about Earth Day?
No, I'll be happy to go out and pick up stuff.
Awesome, thank you.
yeah. Okay, yeah.
Just,
So that might work the best, you know,
Okay.
right, and then you can just contact us and, but I know, you know, like, we've had people go out on Saturdays, and Sunday morning, you drive down the roads, and there's trash already
Yep.
on the roads.
Okay, so I think, Louise, do you have the digital file of this?
I think I do.
All right, if you want to send that to Maddie or I, and we'll add this line in,
Right.
and then we'll get
Sure.
it to you guys, and you
Yeah.
can print it off and
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, what we could
Or
do is.
however you want to do it.
I'll leave the email off, right, because we haven't really used it, and just say permission to.
Sure.
Yeah.
Is there any problems with using the market basket bags? The paper market basket bags?
No.
Okay.
No, and that's probably easier for
Little
kids
hands
to,
and-
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I've got some grocery bags with the handles and stuff.
I was
that
going to
could-
say Roach Brothers
Yeah.
has handles
Yeah.
on them. I have a bunch of those if you want.
Right. Okay, all right, so we'll update this
Okay.
and email it to you, and then you can just print them.
Sure. If you
Right.
email tonight or tomorrow, not that you have to do tonight.
Yeah.
We have a meeting tomorrow, so we can bring it up to
Okay.
that board.
Perfect.
Yeah, and, you know what, I can give you one of these maps. And you could mark it, and
Mhm.
actually what I would do, what you could do is take a picture of it and email it to us.
Yeah, and we don't necessarily need to know who's doing what, just
No.
what's getting done.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep,
And it's likely that they're gonna be the quiet streets and,
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, and, you know, it's definitely easier to let the parents pick
yeah.
than to be assigned.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
yeah, can we just
Well,
give-
don't send that yet. We're going to update that handwritten part.
Okay, so you want to take this and you're
You're
gonna.
going to email me this file tomorrow.
Okay, I'll look for it.
No, you have that digital file in your computer?
Yeah,
You're going to send that to me.
okay,
Okay, so don't look for it.
all right.
Don't wait for it.
But
I will take that, okay. Yeah.
Hmm?
Just take a picture. I can just take a picture of this first.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
That's it.
Do you guys have any other questions?
No.
Anybody?
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I had a thought, especially for the school kids. My granddaughter and I go around a couple of times a year, and we clean up the parking lots for all the trailheads. And, you know, it's not hard to fill a 5-gallon bucket at one of those trailhead parking
So
lots.
if parents
you
are
off the
looking for a
street.
quiet area.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's, you know, you park in the parking lot, and, yeah, so it's just another option. I
Right.
don't think we've really incorporated that. There's also that big field by the town garden. I was over there yesterday doing some measuring for something.
Is there a bunch of trash
Oh
there?
my, a bunch of stuff has blown in the last, we've had some windy
Yeah.
days this
Yeah.
year. So it's things like that we've never really singled out as an option for this.
Sure.
This might be
Yeah.
a good,
We can bring that
a
up.
good
Yeah.
opportunity to
Yep.
think about
There's
it.
also the field over on River Road.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Hmm.
Um,
And-
Taylor Road is always.
Right now,
a
it's really
case pond.
muddy, but
Yep.
And we had a group, I think some of the Boy Scouts did 40Ks. So.
Yeah, they didn't find much actually.
Oh,
On
well,
the
that's
trails,
good.
it's not so bad, but
it's the
Yeah.
parking lots where we
Yeah.
find most of the debris.
Mm.
And a part of that is it's along the roadside where people are throwing their
Yeah.
Right.
Hmm.
stuff out. Yeah.
Been going on since time immemorial. It's
Yeah.
Yep.
going,
Yeah.
going. It's unbelievable.
So, yeah, so the general store prints up the gift cards and they give them to us. So,
Yeah, we'll hand them out when they,
When they
maybe
bring
we'll
the bag.
leave some of them at the transfer station
right.
for
And
stand
we
to
could
hand
leave
out.
them some also, or
Nope,
but-
they're gonna be at Berlin,
Realty
Ridge
and the
Realty,
transfer
and the
station.
transfer station.
Okay.
Yep,
Makes sense. Good.
Okay.
all right.
Good, thank you.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you very much for coming.
Okay. Let's talk to Kay. Kay, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm on a butter. I live over across the street from there.
Yep, and I apologize for the technical difficulties that we had. Basically, you saw the pictures, you saw the plan of so the buildings that were in green are the buildings that are going to be removed, and on the plan, the squares that were in orange is going to be the new construction for the single-family house. And the meeting has been continued because DEP has not issued them their file number yet. So we can't close the hearing without that number. So
Can I ask who we're talking to?
her name is Kay.
Okay, Kate.
Yep.
In Berlin, yeah.
Yep. So, I mean, there really wasn't a lot else. We had some discussion about the erosion controls and kind of the steps that we want them to take as far as putting the erosion controls in and then calling us for inspection before they start any work. But that was about it.
Oh, good. Thank you.
All right.
Just for the record, I'm Kay Skoog, S-K-O-O-G. I live at 24 Village Lane in Berlin.
Great. Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right. And thanks for
I will tell
coming.
my neighbors. I
All
will
righty.
tell my neighbors. Things will be continued then, but she's going to make it a horse farm?
Yep.
Okay. Very good.
Yes. Excellent. All right. So
Okay, thank you so
we'll
much.
be here in 2 weeks. If you're here, we'll see you then.
Okay.
All right.
Very good. Thanks.
Thanks. All right.
Can I?
Sir, you certainly can. Why don't you come on up so that you can be heard?
I've actually got, I was at the last meeting that got canceled. I had 2 things to talk about then. Unfortunately, now I have 3 things to talk
All
about.
right. So introduce yourself.
My name is Tom Pernot. I live at 91 Ball Hill Road.
Okay.
I'm in a butter of Ager Woods. And the first thing I want to talk about, and there's, if I can give you this, there's 2 image files and there's 1 video on that. And first thing is, I was, at the end of February, I was over in Ager Woods. I walk my dog there a couple times a day. And I found, in the parking lot, there were tractor tracks. And the tractor tracks, like not a lawn tractor, but like a garden tractor, like 25, 30, 35 horsepower tractor. You can tell by the wheels, the front wheels, back wheels are different, they live different treads. And those tractor tracks came from and went back into, that's not a picture of them, came from and went back into that trail, which is actually a road. I finally walked it, that goes from the Ager Woods parking lot to the school bus turnaround. So basically, someone has literally
town
cut a
line.
road through there. It's a road. It's not just a footpath. It's a road. And in the snow, I had pictures. You could see that they had driven their tractor. I didn't walk the whole thing, but you could see where the tractor came out of the woods in Ager Woods and drove around the parking lot and then apparently went back in. I couldn't see what, if anything, they did. But I just wanted to make you aware that it's not just a snowmobile. Now it's a tractor as well.
And it's a tractor, not an ATV.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a tractor, not an ATV, okay? And that's which in the video. If you look at on the stick, there's a video there. You don't have to, I'm not asking you to play it or anything like that,
Right.
but it's just me, you can look at it later or something like that. But it just, you can see, that's the parking lot. That's the Northborough Trail. That's the Berlin Trail, right down there. And then that's the tractor tracks, right there. And you can see that it's the front tires, back tires, different treads, etc. It's a tractor. So anyways, that's going on. I wanted to make you aware of that, okay? The next thing, a couple weeks after that, I was walking my dog along the trail and discovered debris in the woods. So somebody is basically, there's a couple of different pits, the same stuff, but my dog is in there just as a frame of reference for size. Yeah. But I found that debris in the woods that had been dumped there. That was probably 3 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. It's some plywood, somebody, and it's strange because this is on the Berlin Trail. When we think about from the parking lot, there's the Northborough Trail where you guys have the stuff up to catch the owls, and then there's the Berlin Trail. And it's a ways down the trail. And I couldn't see any evidence of anybody having used anything to get the wood down there. So it's literally, it's a ways, and it's maybe about, I don't know, 200-300 yards down the trail. On the left, if you're walking down the trail, it's on the left-hand side. And it's just kind of set off there. So somebody had to carry every one of those in there. There's not like a wheelbarrow track, so it just kind of puzzled me. I don't know, but somebody's using it as a dump. And then just 2 days ago, I was walking my dog, same trail, and I noticed, and I think it's been there longer. I think this other pile of trash predates that one, but it looks like it's a bunch of rubber, almost like tire tube type material. And I didn't go excavating it because I just noticed it a couple days ago, but it's just under a tree and it had a bunch of leaves on top of it. But I think it's probably maybe been there for a while, but I'm not sure. It looks like it could have been a pool liner or something like that. It's maybe about this big around with a bunch of leaves on it, and it's like a kind of old piece of rubber.
All right, we'll drag that out
Yeah.
for Earth Day.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I can show you where all this is. I mean, that's easy enough to find. The piece of rubber isn't. When you first walk down the trail, the Berlin Trail, you notice, when you go through where the stone wall, there's an opening in the stone wall, and then there's like the big round rock that's still there that they haven't dug up and left a hole in place of it. So if you stand right at that big round rock and you look to your left and you look about 25 feet over there and you look at the base of the tree and you'll see like a big black mass with leaves on it. I think whoever dumped it probably threw a bunch of leaves on it just so it wasn't noticeable because I hadn't seen it before. But again, I walk by there 2-3 times a day. So that's why I apologize. It's not good news, but
Tom.
well,
we can't be everywhere.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
know.
a few of us.
Another thing, if I could, I was having a conversation with one of the town law enforcement people, just a casual conversation recently, and something that they said that might be useful, and maybe it would be useful if possible, I don't know if you can, but like if either the Conservation Commission or the police are together, sent letters to all the people that live right in close everybody on Ball Hill Road, everybody from like, I say pretty much anybody on Ball Hill Road because a lot of people, it's their backyard, but just say, hey, look what's been going on. We've seen snowmobile tracks in the woods. We've seen tractor tracks in the woods. We see people leaving trash out there. We want to make all of you abutters aware of this, to keep your eyes out, be aware of it. And I would also reemphasize that you're not allowed to drive motorized vehicles in there. The sign that's posted in the parking lot says so, but then it says, and vehicles will be towed, which is kind of an ambiguous thing. I would think that vehicles will be impounded would make more sense. If you tow it somewhere else, and then they go to get it there and ride off. If you say it's going to be impounded, that says, hey, we catch your vehicle in here, we're going to take it away from you, period. And then put it nicely in the letter, sort of to the abutters saying, hey, please be on the lookout for this. I think it's one of the abutters, but if you do that, that might shame somebody into like not using it as their own dump and private dirt bike trail.
Nobody's been more aggressive on getting rid of ATVs and motorized vehicles in town than I have over the years. Both our public lands and in the state flood control projects and getting the EPOs in there and everything else. And I think I saw the tracks you're talking about. And, this rubbish thing, thanks for bringing it in, but, I would just pick it up and haul it out of there. I mean, that's happening and it happens, but we don't want to, I'm afraid we don't want to get to the point where somebody's gonna say, well, we don't want a rail trail, who's gonna maintain it? We're gonna hire someone to do it. Is there enough people up there interested to have kind of a citizens group to maintain, to oversee those trails and maintain them, a local citizen
I
group?
don't, I mean, I'm out, I'm in the woods all the time.
Well, you live there. You
I
live
live
there,
there, and
okay.
I'm out there, you know, 2 or 3
Yeah.
times a day. I'm walking through the woods. I walk the full, you know, down
Yeah,
around the
I
swamp and
do,
everything by the
yeah.
beaver dam.
Do you ever hear machinery out there?
Not a lot, no. I'll have to say that it's been very, that the motorized vehicles, it's a rarity. The snowmobiles really tick me off because I like to snowshoe. And it's on the rare occasion we even get snow now. I'll get out there with my snowshoes and there's snowmobile tracks down the middle of the trail, you know?
Right.
I would also suggest putting a sign over by, another sign that basically says no motorized vehicles at the school bus turnaround. Where this person has cut this road, put a sign right smack dab in the middle of that trail that says, FYI, no motorized vehicles allowed. Your vehicle will be impounded if you use it.
Did it look like that was unloaded at the school bus place, or could you did the trails go into someone's yard, or did they stop
No,
at
it's
the
at the school.
turnaround?
Well, I think what it is, if you see where the school bus turnaround is, there's about 4 or 5 houses right across the street
Right.
there. And I suspect it's one of them, just simple
Right.
process of elimination. And they basically just jump across the street through the school bus parking lot. They cut that whole trail so that they don't have to drive down the street to where the Ager Woods parking lot is. And I know there's one of the people out there also has an electric golf cart, not a registered vehicle, an electric golf cart. This summer, they ride up and down Ball Hill Road sometimes with their kids sitting on the bench seat in the back of the golf cart. That too is illegal.
Sure. I would ask if you do hear motorized vehicles out there, if you would call the police.
Mhm.
That would be great, because you are right there.
Yeah, no,
and, yeah.
I totally, if I were to, if
Um,
I heard somebody riding dirt bikes around now, I will definitely do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a dirt bike
Snowmobile
myself.
or-
I have,
yeah.
I have a dirt, and I don't ride it in Nader Woods because you're not supposed to.
Right, exactly. But definitely, thank you for bringing this to
Sure,
our
sure.
attention. Unfortunately, there are a couple properties around town that still, people believe is still their snowmobile
Yeah, no,
land.
I know. And the trash thing is weird though, because just, I mean, you'll probably, just how far down the trail it is, just, it befuddled me. I'm just, and it's like I was there the day before and it wasn't there, and the next day it's there. So, okay, they did it, and there was no tracks from anybody driving in there, anything like that, and I just scratched my, why did they, I mean, if you're dumping trash, you pull in the parking lot, you throw it out and you're gone. You don't carefully walk it into the woods,
Right.
place it, and then place it all together there in the same place. Yeah, I don't know. it doesn't
Unless they're
make sense.
planning on building a fort.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think
Yeah.
so, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right.
And if you feel like it, every time you go by, grab a piece and put it in the parking
Well,
lot.
my only, will the transfer station take, it's wood. I don't think they'll
Right.
take lumber
So
at the
even if
transfer
you get it
station.
up to the
Yeah.
parking
Oh,
lot.
just bring it up to the parking
And
lot,
then
okay.
we'll pick it up
Yeah.
I
on
mean,
Earth
I'd
Day or
take it
whatever.
to the transfer station. I think they would say, no, we won't take that. 'Cause it's
Well, we
Try
can,
it.
we can pick it up and it'll go in the open top.
Well, I'll get it out to the parking lot, then I'll take care of that.
That would be great.
And then, I had a question for you, Walter, too, which I don't, it's not a conservation question.
All right, so then can,
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
yep,
Call me
just
up.
hang on. Well, hang on, I
That's
think
fine.
we're done.
Okay.
No, we're not.
Oh, we're not.
Well, it's a quick question.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about Rack Meadow,
Yeah.
is there a trail, a passable way to get from the southeast end to the southwest end?
You mean one side to the other?
Yeah, one side. So
Yeah,
you
they
go
used to be, but the beavers have flooded it. There
But
was a
way-
cart
way
road
up
across
there.
there years ago,
way up, like the uppermost.
right where the
swamp.
island is. Right-
No, above
right
that, the
below.
uppermost swamp. Like if you walk up to the Northborough side. to
Yeah,
the
you can
upper-
walk around the end of
You
it.
can get around
Sure,
it, because I've
yeah.
tried a few times and I just end up in
You
muck.
didn't
and-
walk
and-
far enough. You can walk around. I walked around it recently.
Okay, really? The whole south side from one end to the other. All right, that's cool. I'll have
Yeah.
to give it a go. All right, thank you for your time.
Thank
So
you
you
very
might
much.
be-
Thanks
Tom.
for coming in, Tom.
You might be interested. So we are doing a Ball Hill Road Conservation Forest Stewardship Walk May 4th.
Oh, okay,
on
cool.
Saturday, May 4th at 10 a.m.
Okay,
So we'll be meeting at Ager Woods parking lot. And
where's that?
Yep. So Gary, the forester that came up with that forest stewardship plan, is going to come out and explain the plan
Oh,
to us.
awesome.
So-
May 4th.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Thank you
I
very
will
much.
send out letters to the abutters.
Thank you. That's
So, yep.
What time?
awesome. Appreciate it.
10 a.m.
10 a.m.
Yep.
Excellent, all right. Well, that's another agenda item. Those. All right. Does anybody have any questions about the conservation, the stewardship walk? Since we just talked about that, we can check
That's
it
the
out.
one where Gary Gouldrup is gonna take us, yeah.
Yep.
That's May,
May 4th.
yeah, May
May 4th.
4th,
At
yeah.
10 a.m. and meeting at Ager Woods parking lot.
At what time?
10 a.m.
10 a.m.?
May
Yep.
4th.
It's on there.
Oh, it's
Oh,
on,
10
yeah,
a.m. is not
okay,
on there.
great. Yeah,
May 4th or
Yeah, I don't know, yeah, right. Oh, I don't know what, here, did you?
Yeah, that might be a different,
Oh, I just printed that today.
oh, that's March 20th, this is April 3rd.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Awesome. Kestrel box?
Kestrel boxes. So AJ has built 2 Kestrel boxes. So I talked with the state ornithologist Drew Fitz a couple weeks ago and kind of presented on Google Maps different areas in Berlin as areas that I thought would be good areas for Kestrel boxes, and he confirmed. So one of them was off of River Road, so the big open field, kind of across from
The Tyler Field.
Yep, Tyler Field.
Yep.
So he said that looks like a great spot. They benefit when there's wetlands nearby, and they like really open fields. The other thought was it Lester Ross Dam? So up by the highway department off of West Street, there's kind of fields up there. So again, town property, I think would be a great spot. Rainville Farm would also be a really nice spot. I don't know how willing they would be to let us set up a pole.
You could always ask them.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then Berlin Orchard somewhere in that area, if anyone, if we know anyone in there that
Yep.
would be interested in
Yep.
setting up a box. But I think me and AJ are gonna, on Patriots Day,
Patriots Day.
so April 15th at 1 p.m., we're gonna work on at least setting up the River Road box and the one off of West Street.
when I used to bring the cows in from down on the, South Street down towards the, you go around the circle and head by the package store on down where that second rotary is there, and always coming along that road, there was always kestrels on the thing, so that would be, down by the gardens would be a
Oh,
good
yeah.
place. And across from River Road, and I put one up at the Rainville Farm a couple of years ago, but,
Okay.
I just put it on a pole and stuck it up there quickly, but, 1 or 2, the other one probably wouldn't hurt any, but the other places you mentioned would be good, yeah. I made one the other day, but who's gonna make, where you gonna get these built up? Who's gonna make them? Where's the lumber coming from?
I get it from Dave Smith.
Dave Smith? Okay.
So if you need lumber, let me know. I'll go pick it
Okay.
up.
All right, that's good.
He-
So what do you got for the poles? You got everything organized and,
We got 15-foot 4x4s.
4x4s?
So about 3 feet in the ground, and they like the hole to be
PT?
about 12 feet up. So
That right?
no,
Okay.
they're not pressure treated. They're
Yeah.
rubber.
That's about
So
what the Rainville one is, yeah.
7 years, I think, is about.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll go 8, but you do have to replace them from time to time.
And I put one down as you go across the flats towards Northborough there, go over the bridge and way off to the right. I put one there and it's so grown up you can't see it anymore, so I've got to get in there and chop that down, and I don't know if it's anything ever been in it or not, but we should check those out. But in line
I
with
don't
that,
know where that is.
how about a bluebird trail?
I think that would be great too.
We should get together and look at our town lands. I've got 3 or 4, several up around on our lands, but we should map them out. And I'm looking to you as the expert. I'm not. I put up a bluebird house, and there's always bluebirds in them, so they're,
Yeah.
it's not too
Works.
difficult.
Yep. Yeah.
It works, so.
I mean, last year there was the one at the community garden. They were definitely
away.
nesting in. Yeah,
Within a few days when
Yeah.
you put that up.
Yeah.
yeah. When we were working in there.
But
he kept
going
flying
along
up.
with that, we I don't know how many people use our website, the conservation website. It's a pretty good one, but there are some darn good ones I've seen. but he put something on Berlin Neighbors Connect, and there's a good response. So if you could connect them, you know, if we get those connected, what do you think?
Not entirely sure what you mean.
Well-
Like, we could put a post on Berlin Neighbors Connect, reminding people that we have a website.
Correct, right.
Okay, sure.
And then on that, I put on the Neighbors
We also
Connect
have a Facebook page.
the other day, do we?
Yep, we do.
Oh, okay. What's the name of it? I don't know. You see,
Yeah.
I'm pretty much illiterate on this stuff, and
Right.
you know, I know
Yeah,
what the.
so
what do you
Berlin
mean,
Neighbors
right?
Connect. Berlin.
I think he does a great job with his posts.
I believe me. The fact that you're on Facebook and you can post,
Yeah.
you got my dad beat, hands down. So
I do love all your old pictures that you
Yeah.
post.
yeah.
That is
So
awesome.
yeah, don't. It's just so Berlin Neighbors Connect is a Facebook page,
Okay.
and the Berlin Conservation Commission also has a Facebook.
So what do you
page.
Google up for that? How do you
Ber-
get to it?
You should just
Just.
I think it's just Berlin Conservation Commission.
right. I
Really?
think it's
Yeah.
just Berlin
Oh, all right.
Conservation
Yeah.
Commission.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So like when you go onto Facebook,
Yeah.
in the search bar, if you
Yeah.
type Berlin Conservation Commission, it'll take
Oh,
you to
all
the
right.
page.
Okay.
Yep.
Right.
Okay.
So
But I
I'm
was.
finding,
Yep.
yeah, I'm finding that I get notices about posting
Mm-hmm.
on Berlin Conservation that has nothing to do with conservation.
Just people posting stuff that,
Mhm.
yeah.
Right,
Those are called trolls,
yeah.
and we can go in and clean it out.
Well, all
You're
right.
an
It
admin
just.
on that page, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
The only thing I was looking out of this
Just the
discussion is that something that, I mean, I can see if, I can't do it alone, I can do a lot of it, and I have done a lot, but can we agree that it might be a good idea to put up a Bluebird Trail? What, if you can define that for me, I'd appreciate it. I think it's a matter of bluebirds and bluebirds in them, right? But Berlin would support 100 of them around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
You
think
know?
that's a great
Definitely
idea.
Yep.
Yep.
But between our, between Berlin Neighbors and the conservation site and our website, we should have on our website that thing I put on the Berlin Neighbors Connect 2 days ago. It explains everything about bluebirds
Yep.
and
So
stuff
we can
like
share
that.
that
Maybe
post.
get
We'll
Audubon.
share your post.
But
on
if
there.
Yeah.
that would, in other words, engage the public in our environment a little
Yep.
bit more, you
Yep.
know?
Absolutely.
So where do we go from here? We
So
can't-
for the bluebird thing, what I would like to see us do is to be a little proactive about it, and maybe over the summer or fall, build the bluebird boxes. Get everything together so that when the time comes, we're not like, oh crap, we should have put those up 2 weeks ago. Let me finish building them.
Okay, well, here's the-
And pick where we're gonna put them ahead of
okay.
time.
Well, there's still time this year. I'm gonna build at least a
Yeah.
half a dozen.
Yeah, there's
And I'm
plenty
gonna
of
get 'em
time
up.
this
I've got
year,
them up
but-
on our flood control sites, and they're inhabited. I might put up some more so that maybe we get some more tree swallows, but
I think along
I'll
like
stick some around.
Lyman and Linden.
Yeah.
Out Pisgah,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
horseshoe
Yeah.
pond. That would be a great little area, you know, where it's kind of open.
Yeah, my dad built a bunch one year too.
Right, well, I put a picture of those on Facebook, as a matter of fact.
Oh, is that the? I thought that.
Those are those.
Yeah.
Where's that, Maddie?
So for horseshoe pond, you know, the field on the corner of Lyman and Linden.
Yeah.
So I think in there, that would be a good spot. For
Oh, yeah,
bluebirds.
yeah, sure. I'd put them on the aqueduct. Nobody would care.
Yeah.
They'd go, all right. And
Where do we
start to
get
map
the-
them a little bit. But I don't, you know, wait another year it wouldn't be a bad idea to get people involved, go out and identify. Maybe we should, I'll get a map of the town and map the ones we have. And so what I'm thinking of is on our site, if we're going to have a bluebird trail in Berlin, there should be a map of the town and indicate where they are. And then apparently some people get pretty sophisticated about it and go and maintain them, make sure there's no trees, sparrows in them and all that stuff, you know,
Yeah.
house wrens and,
Yeah, if we have like monitors that are interested, we can train them how to check the boxes.
yeah,
Kind of gauge if it's a bluebird, if it's a house sparrow, if it's a tree swallow,
yeah.
and how to proceed.
All right, so how, so I mean, I just walk away tonight, it was 2 weeks to our next meeting. In the meantime, I'm gonna build more birdhouses, put some up.
Do
I
we-
guess one thing we need, and I don't have it, who runs our website?
I have access to some of it. I can put stuff up on some, but I don't know that anybody runs it.
Yeah, but, so that's something we actually ought to look at, because you look at some of the websites in some of these other towns, and they're pretty darn sophisticated. There's some very interesting, very informative, very engaging, and that could be a powerful tool for us for a number of things.
Sure.
So it,
Like if you want to write something, I can post it.
yeah, okay.
On
No.
Berlin
on-
Conservation.
And on our website. I
But-
can post things on our website.
Okay, so it's the Berlin Conservation website or the town website?
The Conservation Commission has a page on the town website. Did you know that?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
See, I mean, which is his
Right.
point. I mean, I think there's an opportunity here, and Carol, I'm sure you could do that. You look at the website and it has information. You look at another website and say, you know, holy cow! So it's people that know what they're doing. We
Right.
got to find some 12-year-old kid that can
Yeah,
put it together. For
I know you guys should work with the When high do your school.
Yeah.
granddaughters
Yeah,
here for the summer?
Kids can do it.
Yeah.
Could they do it from Argentina?
Yeah,
Are they coming for the summer?
yeah, they'll be up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you mean if you go to townofberlin.com,
Mhm.
there's something about
Yeah, so under government, under boards and committees,
Okay.
there's conservation. If you click on that, it goes to the conservation page.
All right, I'll have to look.
Tells
I find that very hard to,
navigate.
yes.
I do think
I'm
it's
glad to hear
being
that. 'Cause I do
redone.
too.
I seem to remember hearing something about that. I don't know if it actually is, but there was some conversation about the town website being rebuilt.
Right.
So.
By
I
whom?
think somebody's working on the
Oh,
historic.
the
by
town
someone they
website.
hire-
Yeah.
By they're going to hire someone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I find I can't find things on the Town of Berlin website.
Really?
Yeah,
Well, there's also a search box,
yeah,
so you just type in what you're looking for, and it'll bring you to it.
yeah.
Okay, then, just to end this tonight somehow, so I'll keep in touch with you two on this Kestrel thing, and let's commit to getting 5 Kestrel boxes up in a couple of weeks. We can do that, all right? And then we'll look at this Bluebird thing and get something ready for 2 weeks from now to look at, but, I mean, you don't need to, we can get up a half a dozen. We don't,
Sure.
to do the
You want me to
whole
see if my
town
dad'll
and
build a
make it,
couple?
engage it in the way we should, fine. But the other thing is, you come in the middle of winter and try and get people engaged, they don't care.
I know.
I mean, this is the time that bluebirds flying around, you know?
Right.
So it's a
Yep.
good time to do it. So, all right, so we'll keep in touch on that.
Yeah. Do you want me to ask my dad if he wants to build a couple?
You betcha. Took you long enough to
The
answer that
Kestrel,
question.
the Kestrel boxes?
Bluebird.
Bluebird.
Yeah. Do you want Kestrel boxes too?
No, okay.
Either way.
That's, I can make one.
Okay.
I only made 2 because that's all lumber I had in my shop, but I know where to get more. It's the posts that are a little sketchy to
Okay.
15, 16 foot.
Yeah.
So I'll
Fun to
just
drive.
call you. We'll keep in contact, get Maddie and stuff, okay? Other thing, I sent around, apparently you all didn't get it, but it's I received something from the UMass Forestry on how to, they're looking for ways to protect old characteristics of forest areas that still have the old characteristics, and there's no old forest, we know that. But there are old characteristics, and that big snags falling over, and it has certain characteristics. And I believe we could probably locate an area up on the Pisgah thing. So I guess before I go talking to Gary Gouldrop, do we all agree on that concept? I mean, let's say you find 10 acres up there and just leave it alone. Don't plan on logging it, just let Mother Nature take care of it like it's gone through since time immemorial. You support that concept?
Yeah.
So I talked with them a little bit, all right. All right,
You're talking about doing this on the Ball Hill property?
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Where we're gonna go do a walk. I'd like to cut the brush. You go down River Road in that field that we bought. I want to cut all the brush along the wall. One of the reasons that Bill Wheel and I were looking at that's a beautiful site down there, and the Assabet goes along Northbrook that drains Berlin, joins that. And when I was a kid, that was my job, keeping that brush cut along that wall.
Along the,
Right, you go
along
along
the
River
road.
Road and the wall, and
Right,
when the
yeah,
leaves are on,
okay.
you can't look down across there. And
Yeah.
it's all crap. It's all bittersweet, multiflora rose, it's all that type of stuff. So if I cut it and lay it out, Timmy will push it up with his tractor and we'll burn it and clean that up there. Any objections to that?
just be
Okay.
careful.
I'll do that.
Do you have a high-vis vest?
A what?
A high-visibility vest?
Well, I won't be on the road. I'll be on the field
All right.
side of the road.
Oh, good.
Okay.
That puts the rock wall between you.
Right. You
Perfect.
got it. You got it. That's.
No, I think that's a great idea.
Okay. Yeah, the other question I have, how much money is in the town warrant for this study for the rail trail?
$30,000.
Oh, it's
30,000.
30, I thought it was.
For what study?
The rail trail.
Oh, okay.
The feasibility study,
Mhm.
Okay.
which we should talk.
I was thinking about that, yeah.
All right?
Yeah, I've been doing some talking to neighbors and stuff on that type of thing. Maybe you and I my idea is, well, first of all, I don't think we need to spend 30 grand, but I think if we put it in the warrant, it would have passed this town meeting. But a number of people suggested, and I think it's a good idea. You could stop it at the old town barn for this year and have the parking there. And then you get all kinds of times to get around McKelk's up the other place, the Five Corners deal, that whole mess is quite a complex thing. There are solutions to it. Money would be available. But my idea would be stop it, put the article on. We got a fall meeting coming up.
I heard yes, and then I heard maybe.
Well, if it is, if it is, I mean, I really think we should have an article on there to approve the concept of a rail trail. And it passed once before. It would have passed again if I didn't realize there was a little hate group that was gonna get worked together and sneak up on it. It would have passed again. And I think it would pass, and the only logical way is the railroad, or off the railroad and along parallel it. This way and that way doesn't even make any sense, and there wouldn't be any money for it. And I've talked with people all along the trail, and so it's just something to think about for now, anyway,
So
to keep that in mind.
So I already submitted the Mass Trails grant for this year, so I'm waiting to hear on that. So that would be to do the feasibility study, the deep dive feasibility study for the whole trail in Berlin. So that would include east and west of Coburn Road. And then it would also include doing like a preliminary design work for the section up to Coburn Road. So the Mass Trails grant was submitted for that. We got an earmark from the state, I think it was, yeah, the state, which I don't think we've received the funds yet, but we're supposed to get $100,000 from the state in an earmark. Did that change? I thought you said,
Last
yeah.
all I know is what you know.
Yeah, so the select board agreed to let us use up to $40,000, which would be the match for the Mass Trails grant. And I don't know what they're gonna do with the rest of that 100,000. But we also submitted a CPA proposal to match the Mass Trails grant proposal in case we didn't get the earmark. So
And that's the
what's going,
30,000.
so that's what's going to town meeting. And
Okay,
if assuming we get the earmark funds, then we'll pull our CPA application, and the earmark funds from the state would be the match for the Mass Trails grant.
Is the state gonna give you a grant when the town hasn't approved it? When the
Yeah.
town has turned it down?
Yeah, because the
Yeah.
grant is for the study.
Yeah.
And what the study is gonna do is come up with all of the, look at the whole entire thing, say, this part's an issue, this part's an issue, this part's an issue, and really pinpoint from a construction standpoint, what it is that we need to focus on resolving. And then we will have something to go from there, so that when we then apply for grant money for building it, we have supporting documentation. I know, it's a lot of hoops.
I've walked it and looked at it, and I've been in the field, talked to people. I mean, we got another group in town, if they want studies to do something that doesn't require a study. I mean,
When you apply for.
any number of people in this town can walk that thing without a study, and it's common sense. You could almost turn the contractors loose on it, and there are areas of never mind, I just don't think it's necessary, but.
I don't disagree with you, but this is what we need
It's
to do.
political, it's what it is.
It's the hoops we have to jump
That
through.
irks me,
Right.
I think it would pass, I really do. I really do.
But then we need to come up with the money. So,
Yeah, once you get it done, I mean, if the town says yes, I believe that you could start at Hudson, go right up to Coburn Road. Without
and
any
I don't,
Yeah.
right, I don't disagree, but, so if we're gonna apply for grants to build that, then we need to jump through the hoops.
Yeah, the state wants us to do X, Y, and Z in order to move forward with
In
construction.
order for them to give us money to do it.
Have you talked to the new guy that's come in?
The one who replaced Paul Janegy?
Yeah,
No, I haven't talked to him yet.
right.
So, but I've been talking to the grants people from Mass Trails, talked to Peter Sutton from MassDOT.
Okay.
And I did talk to another guy who, he had to approve I forget what they called it, there was like a major project proposal or something like that.
Mhm.
So we jumped through all those hoops to get
Mhm.
what we needed for the grant proposal.
Mhm.
So we should hear about that soon. But I'm hoping we hear about the earmark. I don't know if there's anybody
I know.
Kristen can push on to, I kind of thought that was going to be a quick, like, funds transfer.
I know.
I thought it was going to be like, foolishly thought it was going to be like a little wire transfer.
Well, I mean, the other thing I gotta say, I've been working on this 22 years, and I've got a folder that thick. Have you looked through it?
Yes, you gave me that a few years ago, and I scanned a bunch of stuff and gave it
All
back to
through it,
you.
All the maps and
Yep.
everything else in there, okay.
Yep, so I got a lot of
I
that stuff
hadn't-
scanned.
Don't realize what this grant, what it was requested for. I would have appreciated knowing it, because it's been in on the details, because I really think that this is not a difficult chore, that we could get it done pretty easily with support. And I talked to, like I say, the abutters that have been opposed to it, one family in particular, and I think that it's doable. But
Well, they
All right.
don't really have a choice. The state's going to do it.
That's right.
And so that's the thing. We're at the
That's right.
point where the state is, you know, the legal battle in Sudbury against this has moved
Okay.
forward. So the project's moving forward to Hudson. Hudson's working on their section from
Mhm.
wherever the Eversource project ends to the Berlin Bolton
Mhm.
line.
Okay.
And so we're working on getting the Berlin section moving forward. So
Right.
hopefully, you know, if the state's ready in the next year or
Mhm.
two to prioritize this, which they seem to be, hopefully we can get up to Coburn Road built.
Okay.
So it's moving forward, Walter.
Yep.
We're getting there. I don't disagree with you. I mean, it's
Right.
it's unnecessary. It shouldn't be this hard, but I think we're closer than we've probably ever been on the east side section. There's definitely momentum at the state level to get this done.
Okay. And the only last thing is, I think, if we don't have, when we ought to start looking, maybe we should ask for a fall town meeting for the rail trail and for the wetlands bylaw.
So
'Cause
for
I
the
think a wetlands bylaw would pass, and if it was strong enough, I'd work like hell for it. And if we didn't get it, then the hell with it. I mean, there's no point in putting a weak one through, but I think we could get the people I talked to, and I think we could get a wetlands bylaw through. That's the main purpose of the Conservation Commission, is protecting wetlands. And we, one of the few towns around, we have a great reputation for the environment and the work we've done. We don't have a wetlands bylaw. We should have a good one. But
Yep,
the
see
thing
from-
that was disappointed when last time we were talking about it, there was a couple people here that never even read it. So I think people on the commission really should look at the law and understand what the points are in the wetlands bylaw that we have to work with in order to get it through. A lot of it's been done. I just think there needs to be some strengthening of a couple.
Are you talking
of them.
about reading the wetlands bylaw that we tried to get through a couple of years ago?
Yeah, that plus others to see what else there is,
Yeah,
yeah.
I only remember the one from
Yeah.
2021.
Yep,
I don't know the one before that.
okay. That's it.
Excellent. Anybody else have anything?
Well,
Go ahead.
I tried to wade through those conservation restrictions that are on here to review, but it was too many pages and
It's pretty
too
dense.
short a notice.
Yeah.
It is,
So
yeah.
maybe push that
Next.
out. And then, last thing for Earth Day,
The,
which I
the
couldn't get
CR for Mount Pisgah.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
the
yeah,
CR
right.
for
Highland Ridge.
the SVT
Right,
Highland
right,
Ridge land,
right.
yeah.
So the sign, the lighted sign here in town for Earth Day, we get up to 4 screens, three lines per screen, and 8 characters per line. So each screen can have 24 characters. So I tried to put something that we can throw up there, and it turned out to be only 3 screens. Just announcing it, and
Yeah,
I've talked to Fred about
where do you want to put this?
on the sign.
Oh, right,
The-
because there's nothing on there right now.
Yeah, well,
Right.
yeah, and he will put it in, but maybe there are better ideas than what I put together. So
I think that's totally fine.
I mean,
Yeah, the only other thing, if you want a 4th screen, is maybe something about picking up the bags.
Or maybe do
Um,
bags at Bridge Realty?
yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, because meet at
Okay,
Bridge
let's just put
Realty.
it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
when you have too many screens,
Yeah.
you,
Sign up at Bridge Realty.
That might be too many characters.
yeah, I would just do bags at Bridge Realty, and then we'll have everything there when they show up.
Yeah, I'll figure out how to craft that.
Okay.
And like I said, you get 3 lines, 4 screens, so that could be on 2 screens if it had to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Instead
mean,
of meet at Bridge Realty.
And honestly, driving by, you get about 2 screens
Yeah, I
to
was gonna
read.
say I wouldn't do more than.
I
3.
know.
Yeah.
I
That's
know.
why I would just do like bags at Bridge Realty, and everything else they'll figure out when they get there, the sign up and all
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I like it.
Okay, so do we want to put bags in the lobby here?
We have in the past. How
Right.
many of them get picked up here?
Yeah, I've
Quite
had
a
to
few
refresh the box a couple of times
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
All right. So,
So did
and those
you
are going
do
to be
an
the plastic.
Did you inventory what we have?
I did not find one pair of gloves, not one. There are 5 of the sticks with the point thing on them for picking up trash.
How about the yellow bags?
No visibility vests, and none of the
did
grabbers.
you have some of that stuff last year?
Yeah, I thought we had a ton of stuff.
That would disappear pretty quickly,
Well,
wouldn't
Did people
I-
bring it back?
it? People
I
walk
actually-
off with it.
Right.
Yeah, I actually bumped into James Holyoke at the store on Thursday or Friday last week, and he said, "I'm going to be over there till 1:15. I'm cleaning out the attic. If there's anything you need to pick up, get it now." And I showed up at 1 o'clock, and we were there for about an hour. I don't know. There, like I said, there wasn't a single pair of gloves in the box. There's other stuff. But anyway, I think there are 7 or 8 signs, but the date, of course, is wrong. We just have to,
Are those the ones that need to be updated?
yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I don't know, are we interested in supplying gloves for? Nah.
No.
Best?
They walk away.
Nah.
Nope.
Yeah, they never come back, but
Yeah.
would you
Right.
want them back?
No.
No.
Probably
After
not.
they pick up
Yeah,
the trash
no,
for a couple
people-
hours?
Especially after COVID, everybody has gloves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, most people show up with all that stuff
Yeah.
anyway.
Yep.
Um,
You know, and we've talked about this in the past, and I shall reiterate, you know, we're trying to pick up stuff, not add stuff to the waste stream.
Yeah,
Um,
so,
So do you want to leave paper bags in the lobby or just the plastic bags? And leave paper bags at the transfer station.
I just don't know.
maybe leave some of each. See which ones, and let people choose.
My concern is people are gonna walk through and say, oh, the town is giving off lawn leaf bags and I need to clean up my lawn.
Yeah, I agree
Right.
with you on that.
Yeah.
I would just put out the yellow ones
Yep.
until they're gone, and
Yeah.
then
Right, and we could put paper bags.
Oh,
and
so all
with
of those,
scan, and
oh.
people can pick them up from him.
all the yellow ones that were in Bridge Realty, about 2 boxes worth, and I had about a box or so left over I was storing from last year. And Fred and I made an estimate. There are about 1,000 bags at the highway department right now.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they get I think they get like 3 boxes every year.
He
Oh,
said.
that's
He
right.
said.
They're sent to us, aren't they? We don't
Yeah.
even buy.
Yeah, he said
them.
somebody drops them off every year, and we're not using them as fast as they drop them
Right.
off. So
Well, I think Goody was the one who was arranging to get
Yeah,
bags
I don't-
delivered to Berlin.
Yeah, I don't know, but
Yeah.
and Fred says I don't know how to turn the spigot off.
Yeah,
You keep coming.
okay.
It's a problem to have.
Yeah. We come back from cutting a tree down or something. There are 2 boxes of bags every year.
Right.
So anyway, I think that without us there to say here are the paper bags for collecting the trash, somebody's going to say, oh wow, free lawn leaf bags. The town is
Yeah, I
really on
wouldn't-
top of it.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
leave the paper ones
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
And yeah,
And
Plus,
the-
we have to get rid of the plastic ones
Yeah.
anyway. So.
somehow.
right,
Yep.
Do we?
Right.
We should have given some to Northborough.
They've already been produced, so I mean,
Yeah.
if
Right.
anything, we should try and shut off
Yeah.
Yeah.
the deliveries.
And garden, well, I'm going to go over there and do some work here next week. So if anybody
we
wants
should plan.
Give me a call when you do it.
Right.
to. Okay.
At the next meeting, let's pick a
Yeah.
cleanup
work
day.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wait, are we talking about the community garden
Yep.
or our garden?
Well,
at-
our garden.
In
Okay.
town.
Just give me a
We
call
should give
when you
that
do
thing
it.
a name.
Yeah, I was gonna say because I thought this was the
Well, Berlin Meadows.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's for community
It's what it-
garden
it
is
has a
down
name.
on
Yeah,
River
right.
Road.
yeah. That's what I
Yeah.
was thinking it was.
Berlin Meadows, yeah.
By the way, I took a peek in that nesting box. There's nothing in there yet, but I think I have about. Okay, so Ann and I had a discussion yesterday because she's looking at the bat houses and the bird houses, and I'm painting the poles, and she said, what's going on? And I said, you know what? I really enjoyed last year. I made 40 birdhouses kits for the Gracie School.
You know, I find that
And-
the important thing is getting a mouse rat proof around the thing.
Good luck.
It's just awful.
But I would.
Yeah.
I wonder if we couldn't engage the kids from the school making birdhouses as a class.
Good night.
work.
Have we adjourned the meeting?
We can now.
But I was wondering earlier when you guys were talking about it if we want to raffle off some birdhouses for people to put in their yard, or if we want to give them away, if we want to sell them. I don't think we can sell them actually.
Probably not.
Recreation Department's doing a fundraiser with T-shirts or sweatshirts.
Well, that's true, but that's a fundraiser.
Yeah.
Well, one year.
Maybe.
I
We
don't
might
know.
be able
I
to.
Yeah, we
yeah.
could do a fundraiser.
Yeah, I think people, one year, I have a shirt that I think says 2004 on it, and I believe I paid $10 for it.
For
A conservation
thing?
Conservation.
Huh,
I don't know.
right.
Well, yeah, but I like the idea of sign up for $10, you can build a birdhouse, and the $10 goes where?
Right.
To the
To
Conservation
buy
Commission.
more wood to
Or,
build
yeah,
more.
build a birdhouse and make a donation.
Right.
Anyway, let's get out.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
I make a motion, we adjourn the meeting.
I second.
AJ, were you done?
Mm.
Okay. Non-debatable. All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay.